Rivera showed up at the end of July in 2019. And then that was it. I don't think anyone even remembered her the day after. She didn't even make the top 20 of the global popularity poll. Yet somehow, against all odds, here she is with a revamp. Rivera's Trustmaster reward is a one-handed instrument that's received some buffs. It now has 50 more MP, the MP regen has been raised to 5%, yes, that's an actual bonus, and the automatic ability it enables, Improvised Serenade, can restore 3 random units HP and MP by a certain randomized amount every turn. Her Super Trustmaster reward is the Formal Suit, clothes with an extra 200 MP tacked onto it. Its passive, Prestige, has also been buffed. Now, when the unit has less than 50% of their health, their elemental resistance rises by 30%. Which may or may not change things depending on the battle. Onto her active abilities. Her kit has received a full revamp, but just for the fun of it, I decided to add a comparison for your enjoyment. Rivera's offensive abilities deal light magic damage that scales with her MP. Overture restores your team's health. When used after Reverberation, the ability restores more health, gives your team a 3-turn re-raise buff at 50% health, and then deals damage. Sound Amplifier boosts your team's attack and magic by 250%. If used after Reverberation, it grants your team resistance to breaks, gives them a 250% foe stat buff, and chains of absolute 0. Energizing Symphony hurts Rivera, but fills a large amount of your team's MP. It then sets recurrent rotation on the next turn, which gives Rivera HP regen. Interestingly, the only part that's been revamped about this ability is the damage she receives, which has been buffed, and the damage she recovers, which, as expected, has also been buffed. Musical Barrier lets your team evade 1 attack, and grants them a 30% physical mitigation buff and a 50% general mitigation buff. Watchful Ensemble turns 1 ally into a physical tank. When used after Reverberation, it makes them a better tank, and then chains of absolute 0. Turntable lets Rivera steals any breaks from the rest of your team. Impish Nocturne gives 1 ally a 75% double killer buff against demons and fairies. When used after So-and-So, it boosts that killer buff to 125%, and chains of absolute 0. Acoustic Echo chains of Boating Strike. When used after Reverberation or either form of Acoustic Echo, it becomes Acoustic Echo Plus, which deals more damage. Rhapsody of the Wild grants 1 ally a 75% double killer buff against beasts and humans. When used after Reverberation, the killers rise to 125%, and chains of absolute 0. Funeral March is the same thing, but the killers are Reaper and Machine. Chorus restores everyone else's MP, gives everyone else an MP regen, and when used after Reverberation, grants more MP. It also chains of Disorder, which you do not need to remember. Oh my gosh, we're still not done. And this is why they started to consolidate abilities. Choir Solo turns 1 ally into a Provoke tank and grants them a 50% general mitigation buff. Hymn of Life fully restores your team. When used after Reverberation, it not only full revives your team, but automatically activates Soulful Chant on the next turn, giving them a re-raise buff and restoring half of their MP. In the Limelight imbues light onto your team, lowers the enemy's light resistance by 130%, and boosts your team's light damage by 20%. Vigilant Orchestra turns 1 ally into a strong physical tank, boosts their defense by 300%, makes them resistant to defense breaks, and gives them an HP barrier. Reverberation removes any breaks from Rivera, grants her a 50% general mitigation buff, boosts your team's stats by 280%, and restores a large amount of Rivera's MP. Raise the Tempo boosts 1 ally's Limit Burst damage by 100%, and their Limit Burst gauge fill rate by 200%. When used after Reverberation, it pushes the Limit Burst damage to 150%, and the Limit Burst gauge fill rate boosts to 250%. It also chains of Chaos Wave Awaken. Anthem of the Brave can be used 3 times per battle. It chains of a triple casted Boating Strike, restores your team's HP, and on the next turn, gives Rivera HP and MP regen. And we're still not done, because magic! But nothing here has actually been buffed, nor can they be awoken further, though she still has some notable tools like Libra, Holy, and Re-Raise. Passives. With her Trustmaster reward or Super Trustmaster reward equipped, Rivera gains stats, more MP when wearing a robe, 50% boost to her elemental resistance, and when her HP is below 80%, she gains an additional 50% elemental resistance for 10 whole turns. They consolidated a lot of her passives here, and even boosted some things too. Stats are a bit obvious, but she's also gained 100% camouflage. She's resistant to most status ailments, and also has resistance to her brother's element for whatever reason. They really just gave her flat stats, and she has a chain cap boost as well. She prefers to carry a single weapon, receiving boost to equipment MP when doing so. Not only that, but she also absorbs MP when attacked by magic. Her normal attack changes to restore your team's MP, and it also gives them a single reflect. At the beginning of every turn, she'll restore a decent amount of your team's MP, and boost their dark resistance by 50%. She also has a guts buff and immunity to charm, so in the end, she's resistant to practically everything. Let's look at her Limit Burst. It boosts your team's Limit Burst damage by 200%, boosts their stats by 300%, gives them an MP regen, and fills their Limit Burst gauges by a strong amount. Alright, so how good is Rivera? Her revamp has completely overhauled her kit, boosting their buffs, removing some drawbacks, and sometimes even tacking on brand new effects as well. As a result, Rivera has become a strong light supporter with a 130% light imperil, a strong killer buff with 6 different killers available, strong and reliable healing options, and the ability to turn someone into a physical tank if necessary. She can even become a respectable damage dealer, with a combination of In the Limelight, Reverberation, and Acoustic Echo. Of course, Anthem of the Brave is by far her best move, though ultimately this MP scaling unit won't be your main damage dealer anyways. Her passives are quite ridiculous as well. Resistance to most status ailments, and with her Trustmaster reward or Super Trustmaster reward equipped, she gains additional elemental resistance as well. Overall, they really addressed a lot of her flaws and made her an even better unit. She still lacks some tools, like team-wide status ailment resistance, but that wasn't a part of her kit originally anyways, so I'm willing to overlook that. With these neo-offensive buffs, Rivera has become a very impressive supporter, especially for a 7-star stuck among Neo-Visions. Thanks for watching, and if you like this video, leave a like and subscribe. Comment below if you use Rivera. Compared to the other revamped 7-star supporter, Sylvie, Rivera is a little less universally useful, as killers can be hard to remember and Sylvie has much more conventional support abilities. Really though, remembering is often half the challenge. As such, please look forward to my new tier list, which I'll post whenever I feel like it.